The long journey of the MotoGP motorcycle Grand Prix and who are the champions. The history of the MotoGP competition journey or the motorcycle Grand Prix is very interesting to know and follow its development. The reason is, this MotoGP competition is the highest in engine bike racing. Currently, the World Engine Championship itself is divided into three divisions based on engine cudication, namely, Moto3, Moto2, and MotoGP. For motorcycles, the engine in the MotoGP event itself uses a special engine model, which means it is only used in racing and not for sale in the market. MotoGP competition 1949 to 1970. For the first time, in 1949, an engine racing event was organized by the Fédération Internationale de Motorcyclisme or FIM. At the time, engine races were held for different classes. This engine class division is based on engine capacity and class for sidecars or sidecar engines. Among them there are 50 cubic centimeters, 125 cubic centimeters, 250 cubic centimeters, 350 cubic centimeters, and 500 cubic centimeters classes for single engines. As for the sidecars, there are 350 cubic centimeters and 500 cubic centimeters divisions. The engine with the four-stroke engine type itself had dominated the race, namely in the 1950s and throughout the 1960s. This happens in all classes unlocked in the race. It wasn't until the 1960s that motorcycles with two-stroke engine types began to appear and dominate the small class in racing. MotoGP competition 1971 to 2001. In the 1970s, engines with two-stroke engine types had dominated and got rid of four-stroke engines. Some joke engines have used a two-stroke three-cylinder engine, such as the one used by MV Agusta, which uses a three-cylinder engine. This success led him to become world racing champion from 1966 to 1773. The choice of this type of machine itself was motivated by the reason that it was lighter in weight so that its qualifications on the racetrack became better. It wasn't until 1997 that many engine bikes were found in the Grand Prix 500 race using a four-cylinder engine. The GP 500 itself is the pinnacle of MotoGP racing. In the competition period between 1971 and 2001, the top class was limited to four cylinders and an engine capacity of 500 cubic centimeters. This policy applies to using four-stroke or two-stroke. MotoGP competition 2002 to 2019. The 2000s were a transition period in which two-stroke engines were not allowed to be competed in the Premier Class competition. In 2002 to 2006, for the first time, engine manufacturers were allowed to increase the total engine capacity to four-stroke. The allowable engine capacity can reach a maximum of 990 cubic centimeters. While in the 2007 racing event, the maximum capacity was changed to 800 cubic centimeters.